Hello everyone, welcome back to another Umamusume video. Today is June 11th, which means two things. The first thing is that Champions Meet has finally concluded, I hope everyone did well, and it also means it's time for the Search Solve Summer event. Now in Japan it was called Seek Solve Summer Walk Story event, but for us it was Search. But that's enough of translations aside, let us get into it very quick, shall we? So, like most of these story events, this will follow the same principles. We are going to have an event point bonus for Umamusume and support cards that feature said Umamusume. One of the first Umamusume support cards that will be mentioned is currently Zeno Rob Roy, an SSR stamina card. So let us go over that, shall we? Zeno Rob Roy SSR is of course a stamina card. At max limit break, here's what it'll do for you. You'll gain training effectiveness 10 when the bond gauge is at least 80, a friendship bonus of 30%, initial stamina and guts of 30, initial friendship gauge of 20, a race bonus of 5 with a fan bonus of 10, a specialty priority of 35, a stamina bonus of 1, hit level 3 with 40% hit frequency. Okay, onto the support hints. We have Tokyo Race Course, Pace Chaser Savvy, Late Surger Savvy, Up Tempo, Medium Corners, Tether, and a stat gain of 6 stamina and 2 guts. From events, you can get Studious, Tactical Tweak, the gold skill of Clairvoyance, and medium straightaways. Here is how the chain events will pan out for you. On the first node, you will get 10 stamina and 10 wit on top of the Studious hint plus 1. On the second node, you'll get 10 stamina and 10 skill points with the Tactical Tweak hint plus 1. And ending off on the third one, you'll get 10 stamina and the Clairvoyance hint plus 1. When it comes to random events, Zeno Rob Roy has 5 speed and 5 wit, or 10 energy back and 5 power. And finally, the last choices for her random events is 10 stamina and 10 wit, or a medium straightaways hint plus 1. That is Zeno Rob Roy. Overall, Zeno Rob Roy, how do I put this? I would say the card is not bad, but it's also not the greatest. It might sound funny, but I think in some cases you would probably prefer the original SR Zeno Rob Roy, and let me pull that up quick to tell you what I'm talking about. Here we are with Zeno Rob Roy SR. Of course, let's go over a little bit quickly on the support effects. So the unique effect, she actually has 2. You have the initial stamina of 20, and friendship training gets 10% effectiveness, basically 30 overall if you add in the bonus from her main effects. She has a mood effect and a little bit of training effectiveness on top of a better specialty priority, and to be fair, she has a lot more support hints, and I don't know about the, let's double check, hit level 3 50, yeah, hit level 3 40. It is a bit jarring, I know, but for the most part she has more support hints that are more favorable here, like she still keeps Pace Chaser Savvy and Late Surger Savvy, but she also now has Straightaway Adept, Nimble Navigator, and then you also get the Prudent Positioning and Go with the Flow on top of Studious. And then from events, you'll get Sharp Gaze instead of the other 3. Now, there is probably still going to be some applications you'll find uses for the SSR, which is you don't have the SR fully max limit broken, but it's just in my opinion, I feel like her SR kinda does outperform her a little bit. Which is unfortunate because this is a very pretty card art, but I digress. Let's go back into the event. That's our event support card. Playable Umamusumes with event point bonuses will be Taiki Shuttle, Mejiro Dober, and El Condor Pasa, and Makitakani Tannhauser. Here's how it'll go. At 3-star for our 2 new trainees, it will be 30%, and maxing them out at 5-star will give you 35. For some of our 3-stars, they'll start out at 10% with Taiki Shuttle, Mejiro Dober, and El Condor Pasa Fantasy. And then at level 5-star rarity, they'll be 16% max. For our 2 2-stars, El Condor Pasa and Matekane Tannhauser, it will start off at 7% and slowly increase to 16%. Let's go over some of the supports. We have 2 new support cards as well. El Condor Pasa, the Guts, and Mate Takani Tannhauser, Wit. But on top of that, we have the recent Taiki Shuttle, El Condor Pasa Power, Matekane Tannhauser Guts from a previous event, Mejiro Dober Wit from a previous event, Zeno Rob Roy from the Halloween event, and of course Zeno Rob Roy from the current event. For the new ones, at Limit Break 0, they will give you 30% event point bonus, and at Limit Break 4, they will give you 45 in total. For some of the featured SSRs, they will give you 10% at Limit Break 0, and then 25% at Limit Break 4. But Zeno Rob Roy, our new support card, will start off at 20% and increase till 35%. Onto the SRs, we have Mejiro Dober Wit, and of course Zeno Rob Roy Stamina, starting off at 7% Limit Break 0 and ending off at 18% Limit Break 4. For our Rs, we still do not have any new support cards here, so everyone is going to start off at 3% and end at 4%. Sorry, at Limit Break 4, they'll end at 12%. Okay, daily missions remain the same. You win a race during your career, participate in team trials, log in, and you're done. When it comes to one-time missions, you're going to be doing Track Blazer still, up to 5 times the maximum. When it comes to racing, you need to win at least 60 races, any from G1 to OP, and then the amount of G1s you need to win in total is at least 40. When it comes to how many fans you need to gain over the duration, it's 2 million. When it comes to the team trials you need to participate in, it's 40. And then for the amount of cumulative score you'll score during team trials, it's 3 million. And for some of the races you'll need to be placing 3rd or higher are the following: the Osaka High, the Japanese Oaks, the Yasudakinen, the Sprinters Stakes, the Shuka Show, the Queen Elizabeth II Cup, and the Mile Championship. Point rewards remain mostly the same. You're going to be reaching some thresholds to get some carrots, get some tickets, and for the most part you'll get some support books as well, but you're going to be really well, I say that, but I hope you guys are mainly aiming for at least the first golden shard, and if you can't, well, ain't that unfortunate. You'll get the first one here at 300,000. The last copy for your Zeno Rob Roy will also be here at 400,000. And then the next one will be at 600,000. And I'm pretty sure the last third one will be at 9,200,000 points. It is a thing to note, if you reach the full million, you'll get 500 carrots as the final reward, which is always nice because that is a very big chunk of carrots. Okay. Of course, the way to get more Zeno Rob Roy copies outside of the point rewards is through Roulette Wheel, which you'll get to spin over the duration from these prize coins, and then you'll get the first one, hopefully, from reading the story. Or you can skip it, I guess. People do that. Okay, we're done talking about event. Let's finally get into our new trainees, shall we? Let's start off with Mejiro Dober Camping. Mejiro Dober Camping has a stat bonus in speed and wit, 20% in speed and 10% in wit. Her aptitude is towards turf, with a mile in medium distance she excels best in, it being A, with a F in long and E in sprint. Her strategy is late surger, but you can definitely raise up her pace to A pretty easily because it's B, and she has a front C with a G at end. Her epitaph is Cool-Headed Beauty. Win the Hanshin Juvenile Fillies as a late surger while being the most popular. Win the Okusho as a late surger while being the most popular. Win the Japanese Oaks as a late surger while being most popular. And win the Shukusho as a late surger while being most popular. And finally, win the Queen Elizabeth II Cup twice. And earn at least 240,000 fans to get Cool-Headed Beauty as the epitaph. Your unique skill is wherever this wonder leads. If positioned mid-pack on a downhill just before late race, and there's a large distance left to finish, enjoy the race to the fullest, increasing velocity. Her innate skills are Kyoto Racecourse, Fearless, and Take the Chance. When it comes to awakening skills, at level 2 you get Medium Straightaways. At level 3 you'll get Dauntless. At level 4 you'll get Full Throttle, and at level 5 you'll get From the Brink. She has some evolved skills of her own, although it's not here yet, let us talk about it still. Dauntless can evolve by fulfilling these conditions. The first condition is go on a outing with your character, or go on a date with any friend or group support, and finally get 2 skills for late aptitude. Dauntless becomes I want to be more adventurous for late surgers. At a random point in the second half of the race, you're around the middle of the pack, your speed will increase and your acceleration will increase slightly. Dauntless has another evolution by fulfilling the condition of win a G1 race as a late surger 2 times, or have at least 800 speed, and finally have at least 800 wit. Dauntless now turns into Step with Confidence. For late surgers, at a random point in the second half of the race, your speed will greatly increase. From the Brink also has a evolution, and fulfilling the conditions of going on an outing with your character, or going on a date with a friend or group, and then get at least 2 medium skills. From the Brink turns into First Step to Recovery. For medium aptitude, during the first half of the final leg, if you're not in front, your acceleration will increase. That's it for evolutions. On to events. From events, you can get Fall Runner, Updrafters, Downhill Speedster, Unyielding Spirit, and All I've Got. When you're doing the objectives, when it's outside of currently track Blazer, after the junior make debut, you'll hand it into the Hanshin Juvenile Fillies. After the Juvenile Fillies, you'll enter the Okusho. After the Okusho, you'll enter the Japanese Oaks. And of course, ending it off at the Shukusho. But not done yet, you will also need to participate in the Rimikinen. Does not mean you need to win, but you will be participating. So if you were hoping that you were going to go completely unharmed the entire run, I sure hope you got that long attitude hecka up. After the Rimikinen, you'll enter the Osaka High. After the Osaka High will be the Takarazuka Kinen, and then you will go into the Fuchu Umamusume Stakes, ending it off at the Queen Elizabeth II Cup. Mejiro Dober has a couple secret events. Let's go over some of them. On the first one, objective related event, but the event will vary depending on your result. Win the Hanshin Juvenile Fillies, you will get 10 win. You're winning the Triple Tiara, which is the Okusho, Japanese Oaks, and Shukusho, will give you a mood up, 5 speed, 5 stamina, and a unyielding spirit, +2. Participating in the Tenno Spring and losing to Mejiro Bright will lose you 15 energy, but you'll get a random stat plus 8 with 45 skill points. Participating in the Tenno Spring and beating Mejiro Bright will still lose you the 15 energy, but you'll get 2 extra points, capping it out as a random stat getting plus 10 with 45 skill points. Finally, the last secret event we have here is winning the Osaka High, the Takarazuka Kinen senior year, and the Queen Elizabeth II Cup in your senior year as well. Then win at least 5 G1s during year 3. You'll get 20 speed, 20 power, and then all I've got hit plus 2. That is Mejiro Dober camping. A little bit more offensive compared to her previous iteration, but I still think she does pretty well with her job as a late surger, even though her skill is a bit, well, it's a bit hard, I suppose, to proc it, because it has to be in a certain position and the things need to be going Mejiro Dober's way in order to activate it, but I still think this is a workable Umamusume and a great late surger, in my opinion. On to the next new trainee, we have Taiki Shuttle camping. Taiki Shuttle has a base stat bonus of power, 30%, full-on power, with an aptitude in turf and dirt, with dirt being B and turf being A. The distances she usually runs is sprint and mile, with an E in medium and G in long. Her strategy is pace, but you can raise up her front to an A, but it's currently at C and her late is at E, and I guess if you want to try it, you can get her G end all the way up to A if you so truly wanted to. Her epitaph is Mightiest Miler. Win 5 greater races, including the Unicorn Stakes and the Yakuza Kinen, with one of them being in rainy weather. Win the Mile Championship with a difference of at least 5 lengths. Now we have her new unique skill, Joyful Voyage. If positioned toward the front with 200 meters remaining, increases velocity. Then if positioned near the leading Umamusume, gathers strength to move forward slightly. Her innate skills are Wet Conditions, Productive Plan, and Head On. When it comes to awakening skills, at level 2 you'll get Mile Corners, at level 3 you'll get Mile Maven. At level 4 you'll get Pace Chaser Corners, and finally at level 5 you'll get Neck and Neck. Her evolved skills, she has at least 2. Mile Maven gets to evolve when you reach the condition of winning a G1 mile race as a Pace Chaser, being number 1 favorite 4 times. Mile Maven turns into Adventure Leader for mile races. If you're in the first half of the pack during the second half of the opening leg, your speed will greatly increase. And finally, Neck and Neck also has an evolution through going on an outing with your character or going on a date with a friend or group. And finally, have at least 800 power. Neck and Neck turns into No Holds Bar for Pace Chasers. During the first half of the final leg, if you're in the first half of the pack, your acceleration and your field of view will increase. From events, you can get Prepared to Pass, Light as a Feather, Shifting Gears, All I've Got, Rushing in a Bind, Head On. Her objectives: after the Junior Make debut, you'll enter the Shinzukazan Kinen. After that will be the NHK Mile Cup. After the NHK Mile Cup, you'll enter the Unicorn Stakes. Ending off the Classic class with the Mile Championship. Entering the Senior class will start you off at the Yasuda Kinen, into the Sprinter Stakes, and ending it off once again at the Mile Championship. That is it for objectives. When it comes to secret events, Taiki Shuttle has a few. Let's go over the first one. Winning the Mile Championship in the classic year, on top of the Kinko Show, the Takarazuka Kinen, the Mainichi Okan, and the Tenno Show Autumn in your senior year. You'll get 25 speed, 25 power, 25 guts, 50 skill points, and All I've Got hint plus 2, the Rushing in a Bind hit plus 2, and a head-on hit +2. Okay. If you don't race in the senior class early March, nothing happens. If you don't race in the senior class late June, nothing happens. If you don't race in the senior class early October, nothing happens. And finally, if you don't race in the senior class late October, you're not going to believe it. Nothing happens. And that's it for Taiki Shuttle's secret events. And that's it for our upcoming trainees, as a matter of fact. So, I guess the real question is now, should you summon for them? Well, in my opinion, I always summon based on the characters that I like. And I like both Mejiro, Dober, and Taiki Shuttle, but I will not be summoning for them, unfortunately, because Sweep Toshio kind of took all of my carrots. But also on top of the fact that I'm pretty happy with having them in their basic forms. Although I really like their costumes here, it will not be moving me to make any late purchases anytime soon, with Air Shakur on the horizon. But if you're asking how good are they viably, Taiki Shuttle, while not being better than her, current self, she still gets the job done as a good pace chaser, and just like Mejiro Dober, I believe she does get her job done well, and even though she does not have the inheritableness of the original Mejiro Dober, I still think she's worth going for. That's it for our trainees. Let's go over these support cards and then end off this video. Pretty long one today, isn't it? We're starting off with our first new SSR with Mate Kane Tannhauser, a Wit SSR. At max limit break, here's what she'll be doing for you. Her unique effect is gain Wit Recovery Friendship 5 when bond gauge is full, with a friendship bonus of 35, initial friendship gauge of 30, friendship Wit Recovery of 5, speed bonus of 1, initial speed of 20, race bonus of 5, fan bonus of 10, specialty priority of 35, a wit bonus of 1, and an initial wit of 30. Her support hints are corner recovery, lay low, pace strategy, shake it out, home stretch haste, nimble navigator, and a +6 to wit and 5 skill points. From events, you'll be able to get Ramp Up, Flustered Late Surgers, It's On, and Subdued Front Runners on the first node. You'll randomly either get the following: 25 skill points in a Ramp Up hint +1, or 15 skill points. On the second node, you'll randomly either get 25 skill points in a Flustered Late Surgers hint +1, or 15 skill points. And finally, the third and last one, you'll have 3 different outcomes. You can get 7 speed, stamina, power, and guts with an It's On hint +3, or you can get 7 power and speed and a It's On hint +2, or you could just get 10 energy back and a It's On hint +1. Number 2, random events. You have the choices between 10 speed or 10 power, and finally 5 guts and 10 guts, or a subdued front runners hint +1. That's Mate Kane Tannhauser. So, what do I think? So, Mate Kane Tannhauser definitely has its applications with It's On. It's On is a wonderful skill. I suppose when it's not a too power focused CM and you want to run Yaina Muteki for the fact that it's Yaina Muteki, it will not perform as well as Yaina Muteki, but it will still get you that It's On hint that you at least get at the end of Yaina Muteki. On top of having subdued front runners, I'd say that also makes it a little bit niche of a use when it comes to your wet cards. The 5% race bonus is still a little bit hurting, but I am sure you'll manage to find a way to make up for that missing race bonus. Let's go on to the last new support card with El Condor Pasa Guts. El Condor Pasa at max limb break will give you the following. Our unique effect is gain training effectiveness for each support card in the same training facility. With a friendship bonus of 25, initial guts of 30, initial friendship gauge of 30, hit level 2, hit frequency of 30, specialty priority of 35, a guts bonus of 1, race bonus of 10, and a fan bonus of 15. Our support hints are standard distance, pace chaser savvy, preferred position, prepared to pass, pace chaser straightaways, head on, Hawkeye, and a stat gain of 1 speed, 1 power, and 6 guts. From events, you'll get Speed Star and Sunny Days. On the first node, you'll get 15 guts. On the second node, if you pick the top option, you have the random chance of either getting a mood up in 30 skill points or losing 10 energy. If you don't want to take a risk, pick the bottom option, you'll get 7 speed, power, and guts. Third and final node, you have a random chance again. You can randomly either get 5 speed, 15 guts, 30 skill points, and a speed star hint plus 3, or 5 speed, 15 guts, and 30 skill points with a speed star hint plus 1. On El Condor Passa's random events, you can either pick between 10 stamina or losing 10 energy to get 20 power. And finally, you have a choice between 10 power and a Sunny Days hint plus 1. That's El Condor Passa. Guts. Overall, I think this is a pretty decent pick for a Guts card in the current Track Blazer Guts meta. Why I say that is, sometimes I find myself truly regretting bringing Fine Motion, because Fine Motion usually likes to miss, for whatever reason, on her final node, and I'll just get prepared to pass. I mean, with El Condor Passa here, you're at least guaranteed a Speed Star at the end, if you manage to proc it, that is. But with the amount of Guts cards you can use on that support card team, I think you can make this a side piece. Definitely not one that I would consider meta in any way, but a side piece to get a nice gold skill for your pace chasers. And with that, we finally successfully talked about the upcoming event. Are you guys going for anyone? Are you going for maybe you're going for Mejiro Dober? Maybe you're going for your Taiki Shuttle? I know a lot of people going for Taiki Shuttle. When it comes to the support cards, are you perhaps in the mood for some niche uses in Matikane Tannhauser and El Condor Passa? If you are, please let me know in the comments below. Personally, I'm not going for either. So, with that, I'll leave you with a simple, be sure to like and subscribe. Goodbye!